Shorty boys. We got them today on TFBTV. Thanks for tuning in to Showtime. We're at SHOT Show 2024 here at Mossberg with my good buddy Jeremy Stafford. We've got a couple of very interesting breacher style shotguns.
Yeah.
This is not some shit that you guys turned out for SHOT Show. This is a military contract.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that.
It was developed at the behest and with the assistance of a
very sophisticated foreign military unit. And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
that's all we can say.
It's taken about 3 years. That's how much R&D went into this gun.
I remember us talking about it like at EWA a year or two ago. So I know this is one you guys have been working on for a while.
Yeah, actually we've gotten some feedback from the field, along with some photos and things
Positive
like that.
Feedback, I would hope.
Very. We're getting more orders for them.
So start with the fact that this is a 590M, right? I've never shot one of these.
Yeah, so we started with the 590M, and originally when that unit came to us, they wanted a semi-automatic. But when you're making a semi-automatic this short and you're jamming it into things, you're gonna run into problems. So that went by the wayside real quick. And so we ended up saying, you know what? We need a little more firepower than the 3 rounds that would give us.
Oh yeah, because of how short the tube
Exactly.
is. Right.
So
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so with the same overall length now, we're able to give them 5+1.
Gotcha.
So that's that's up to 6 doors.
Right.
Which is a big deal, especially when you're fighting in some of these places that these guys are fighting in.
Scarface's mansion. Yeah.
You might have door stacked on door stacked on door. So that became something that was really important to them. And luckily for us, we already had the M. It just needed to kind of be improved upon for that specific mission. And you'll see that on this model, it's got this big guard up in there. And what that does is it helps guide the magazine in so that they don't have to look.
Gotcha, yeah.
They just do it by feel.
Gotcha.
And that was at their request. And likewise, you might notice moving your way back a little bit.
Saw this, yeah.
We do have the rotary safety now.
Instead of the
tank.
Right.
Because they wanted that 90-degree pistol grip.
Right.
That had to be developed.
And it feels like, I see that. So it would be a little bit more of a pain in the ass. And this actually is virtually identical to like an AR. Right.
So it's a very similar manual of arms.
And you've got fencing up here too.
Yeah, so the fencing came about, and that's been an interesting evolution because it's changed like 10 times as they've deployed with it. Because after they do a door, they'll move it.
Right.
And they were getting that safety bounce. So they played with that until they came back and they said, okay, that's the one.
Gotcha.
So,
no, that's really neat. We've got a Cerakote job.
We invested heavily in Cerakote. We have our own temperature-controlled oven. We make sure that those things are cured the way that they're supposed to.
Okay, ergo grip.
Yeah, that was also by request.
Got it.
That was specifically the one they wanted.
Not the coolest looking ones, but they're pretty squishy
and very tactile.
Very grippy.
Yeah,
yes,
grippy and tactile.
That's what I would say, tactile.
Yeah.
Breacher, of course, muzzle device.
Yeah, this one is our one-piece unit. So we do have those where they can thread into the choke tubes, but this isn't that. That's a one-piece unit, and it does have the M-lock up front. Honestly, they asked for it.
But what are you going to put up
say
here?
No, but
yeah, what are you going to put up here? You're racking it at that point like this.
Yeah.
Which is.
I mean, look, those guys have.
They know what they want.
Developing it certainly was a trek.
Sure, I understand that.
Yeah, so the action release has also been modified on that. If you want to get a pick on that, you can see it drops down and scoops in. And that's important.
This is much more ergonomic than the typical action release.
Yeah, so it was real important to us that we created a gun that could be manipulated without breaking the master grip.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, sure.
So that was important to them, and it was important to us because that's kind of Mossberg's hallmark, right? Mm-hmm. Even with our traditional guns, you can activate all the controls with a master grip, whether you're right-handed or left-handed. And we wanted to take that over to that as well.
An optic rail.
Yeah.
You got to mind your offset whenever you're shooting a door hinge that you're making contact with, about like 2 inches, right?
Yeah, you know what? I would imagine that is a just-in-case type option.
I agree.
But again, I'm not going to second-guess those moves,
sure.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
You want it
if that's
pink?
What you want,
okay,
you got it.
Whatever.
Yeah, you got it. Now, this is something that, of course, you're developing for, as we said, a certain military unit. Is this ever going to be available in the civilian market in this configuration? Probably not, huh?
Well, look, is it going to require some hoops to jump through? Probably. Yeah, but our company ethos, we're not going to restrict what people can and can't have.
Right, sure.
And if they can legally have it, we're going to legally sell it.
Well, and it's got to be commercially viable for you
Yeah.
too. I mean, obviously, like if you already have, if the check's already been cashed for this military unit wants it, great. But then if you got to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars, and nobody's going to buy them.
And
that's
those aren't cheap.
Oh yeah, sure. I can tell. Yeah, especially again, like all the fine touches here. I see some radiusing here, like with a pistol grip.
Yep.
You've got the controls, you've got the fencing, you've got this kind of reinforced hinge.
It's funny.
Everything.
It even comes down to the way the guns are marked. So if you take a look on it, it's not a standard. The markings on it aren't standardized. Yeah.
Okay. It looks cool.
It does look cool, but it's very particular on what they wanted.
And this is basically the same thing, just in Shockwave form.
Very
right?
similar, yeah. And you know what? This is another foreign government, foreign military contract.
Oh, so these are
yes.
Okay.
So both European, but this one they specifically wanted the Shockwave controls. Like otherwise we would have just put them into that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, why not?
But they specifically wanted the Shockwave controls. Yeah. So what we did with this one, you can see it lacks the fencing up front.
Right.
Some of the finishing touches are a little bit different. It does have our new enhanced safety up top, but the bird's head grip is different too. So, and that's to give them a little more purchase when they're doing things with doors.
Got it.
Now, I wasn't a breacher. I don't know all the ins and outs of breaching. But again, this was a collaboration between us and them. They told us what we could change, and we did. Now, the benefit of that is because we didn't have to mess with the controls, this is about half the price of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's that much of a difference.
That much of a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so I can really see like a well-funded domestic team might gravitate towards that. Maybe some of our less well-funded teams or individual officers or even individuals. This one is much more affordable.
Right, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
and you can't say anything about pricing.
No,
you can't
not
say
yet.
anything about availability. But I mean, look, I just appreciate the fact that you guys are willing to share. I had to really bully you guys in order to get you on camera to talk about these. So I know everything's too soon. I know this is something you guys have worked on for a long time. I appreciate the fact that you would share it with me. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thanks,
guys, thank you so much for watching TFBTV Showtime. Stay tuned. We're bringing you more from SHOT Show.